So down stretch on the reformer. I like to treat this as a double lunge. It works on so many levels. It's a fantastic and surprisingly abdominally one. So let's just check the setup position. Just bring it in, sit your bum down first. Super. So your feet are against the shoulder rest, your knees are hip socket distance apart. If you just kneel up and put your hands as a basic, just a little bit wider than shoulders, and have the thumbs, what's called an Olympic grip, over the bar. Now that's just to account for when the arm moves and shoulder moves, it may put strain on the wrists if your thumbs are under. That's all. So from there, get your pelvis forward, 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 checking that there's distance between your shoulders and your ears, send your shoulder blades down the back, and you're pushing that away. Massive serratus anterior, and also your pec major, and some of your bicep, ironically, as well. But good chest one, just in that position. Now the skill with this is, you keep that position, the movement now comes from the shoulder joint. As you send it back, check that you don't jar it, that you've got control, it doesn't suddenly jar there. And then keeping the pelvis forward, bring it in. The movement comes from here. Push it away, bring it right in. Boy, does it fire up the abdominals. Because to stabilise this, you use your glutes, your hamstrings, and your abdominals. Help stabilise the pelvis. Some people can get cramp in their calf, in the hamstring with this one. Some clients. So that's the easiest thing to say. The movement's coming from here. Keeping the pelvis forward, forward. That's what you'll get. What people will do, as they bring it in here, just do it wrong. Get your pelvis back. That's what they'll do. That's not the movement. Keep the pelvis forward. You stay in that shape, it just moves from the shoulder. That's the pivot point. And as you bring it in, visualize you're bringing it in with latissimus, lower trapezius. Pull it in, and sink your bum down and have a rest. You okay with that one?
Yeah, I like that
Now
one.
this is one I go what I call down the ladder, up the ladder on. So I get them to do 2 or 3 like that. It's not about, especially when we go the lowest one, it's not about getting the calories to touch the end. Because one, that'll largely depend on how long your client is, how long the arms are, but that's not the point. What I'm watching for with this is people have got integrity in that lower back in particular. They don't want to be hanging out the lower back. Yeah, exactly the same, it's just a different angle, and boy, will it get you differently. Pelvis forward, push the same. Just alter the angle, that's all. There's no better, it's just different. If you want it, you take it back as far as you can, providing you've got control of it. And I'm watching for what's the lower back. There's integrity there. A bit more challenging now, maybe there.
Yeah.
Now, the further you forward you come, because I can alter the stopper here, the further forward you come, boy, does it fire up the deltoids in particular. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Just make this one the last one. Gets all the muscles the same, but gets them in a different way and to a different degree, to a different extent. Okay, sit your bum down. And lastly, now this is the one in particular, it's not about taking it right out as far out as you can. I'll get Tabby to do that one. There's nothing wrong in it, but that's really not the point of it. The reason I say that, you get a lot of them on Instagram, where because it looks more dramatic and more picturesque, which it does, don't get me wrong, but it's not about that. But we'll do that one first. Hands nice and wide, pelvis forward, and let's do that version. You take, provided you've got control, take it out as far back as you can. And bring it in. Okay. On your next one, just take it out as far. Next version, just so your thighs touch, and you can't get any more of your thigh to touch. That's it, and then bring it back in. That's really what I like to do. I do both, but this one. And what I'm going to ask Tabby to do now is make that the last one, and I'm going to ask Tabby to choose which ones you find. Only because Tabby's done a hell of a lot of the reformer exercises with us, we've been recording. Which ones you find physically easier to do. Only because I'm going to change something else, that's all. Just because I don't want you to do shed loads because you'd be knackered. Which version? The low down one or the up one?
Probably the higher up one. Yeah.
Now, as you'll probably see, the spine's in more an extreme extension in this position when the pelvis is forward than it is lower down. Okay, all I'm going to get you to do, sorry, just sink your bum down. Some people's boobs can get in the way of this, and it's to work on shoulder mobility more. Hands close together. The reason being, you're putting this in more of a stretch, that's all. From being there, you're being there. And surprising how much of a stretch, more of a stretch you can put on the muscles, on the shoulders as well. Other than that, it's the same. Bring it in with here as you push the pelvis forward. Get it in, go on. We'll bring it right in now. Right in, get your pelvis forward. Feel the difference or not?
Yeah.
You might not be.
Yeah,
some people can feel it, some people can't.
I can.
If I was working with swimmers, boy, would I get them to do this one. Shoulder mobility. I'm just using that as an example. Anywhere where you need shoulder mobility.
Yeah.
Okay, lower down. Let's say you want to target the oblique. So there's no right or wrong. There's a basic position, which is a little bit wider than shoulders. Hands closer together. Some people's boobs can get in the way there, but if it's doable, closer together, it's a little bit use the term better, you get a bit more out of it. I was going to say, oh yeah, so let's say you want to target the obliques and stomach a bit more. One version you can do, a little better exercise to do, but you can do, is put both hands over to one side. So put both hands over to the right, not massively so, get your pelvis forward. You're trying to keep your pelvis square on as much as you can, take it back and bring it back in again. Only as far as back as you've got control, or you feel you've got control, and then bring it in. But keep the pelvis forward, forward, forward. You get the idea?
Yeah.
If I look at the obliques a bit more there.
Yeah.
But I'm watching what someone's doing. Okay, so she's got her hands in that position to the right. How does that feel? How far back? How much control has she got? And then, never guess what, go over to the left. And you probably find, so on some people, there's a big difference. Sometimes you can't put your finger, it just looks wrong. And sometimes they'll tell you and they'll say, oh no, I felt so much weaker on one side more than the other. Like I said, there are better oblique ones to do, but it's something that you can do with the down stretch. You okay with that one?
Yeah.
Brilliant. What I'm listening for there, either in yourself or in your client, is, on that one, from a safety, is what it's like on the lower back. You've got to have integrity. You've got to feel like you've got control of it rather than, and you'll notice it more on a much lighter resistance, to be honest with you. Lighter resistance on this one is the biggest challenge, physically, as well as control. Boy, do you need it. There are some that do it on no springs as well, though. Any questions on that, the down stretch? There's a lot you can do with that, to be honest, with down stretch.
Yeah, no, I didn't realise there was something about it. I haven't done the hands to the side. It's quite a good one.
Something else you can do, assuming people have got no issues, mobilities to start with, let's do it. Just do your basic hand shoulder width apart, is the knees. So I mentioned the hand position. Put your knees together, but you keep your feet in. Now, what's this going to do, if you know you're an athlete, is bringing your tension fit. You're going to stretch off. I use this, as in the down stretch, as like a double lunge, a double hip flexor. Great for the hip flexors. Stretches the hip flexors. In this position, you're targeting more the tensiofascial latissimus, which crosses the outside of the knee. Just try that. Might feel it proportionally a little bit more in the lower back, maybe. You okay there?
Yeah.
Yeah? Notice any difference or not? Don't be afraid to say no if you haven't.
I think it feels harder to push back a little bit.
It's going to be there because there's going to be more chance in it because you're putting the hip flex in more of a stretch. You can't,
it's harder with a higher resistance.
Yeah. And conversely, knees a bit wider than your heels. Now this is the one from a kneecap. Bear in mind, as you straighten the leg, which it is as you go down, the kneecap does move. Not doable for everyone if you've got certain people with knee issues. Just to be aware of that. A little bit more, sartorius a bit. Feel a bit different?
Yeah.
There's just things you can play around with. So as a basic, knees are the same distance as your feet are, the shoulder width, and your hands are shoulder width apart. There's quite a bit you can do with that one. The other reformer I've got is quite wide, and you can play around having a really wide grip, which is good. Again, get away from there's right or wrong. There's a basic, and then there's unbasic ones. You okay with them? Good one for shoulder, but it works, again, like most of his moves, it works on so many levels, and that's the down stretch.